Good morning, everyone. Today I will discuss a powerful movement that has reshaped the landscape of gender equality across the globe, the Me Too movement. So, my presentation is entitled Revisioning Chitra Banerjee Divakaruni's literary work in light of the Me Too movement in India. I will explore its unique manifestation in India, delving into its impact through literature, and examine the works of renowned author Chitra Banerjee Divakaruni. In particular, I will examine how her novels The Last Queen and Independence contribute to the movement by retelling historical and fictional narratives that inspire courage and resistance. This is the table of contents that I will follow. So, as we can read here, the Me Too has spurred new activist movements such as the Time's Up in the United States and the UK, and the Now campaign in Australia, and legal reform steps have been taken in France, China, Spain, Morocco, and elsewhere. It has also intersected with existing movements such as Ni Una Menos across Latin America, and has been reimagined as additional campaigns such as the Kutu in Japan. It has enabled journalists to undertake and publish investigative work, thus lending credibility to victim survivors. Titans in the entertainment, news, politics, and media industries worldwide, who used their power to sexually harass, assault, and rape, have been imprisoned or driven out of their powerful positions, for example, Harvey Weinstein's, among others. And attorneys have had more success in prosecuting cases of sexual violence. But why is Me Too different in India? Well, the Me Too movement in India has taken on a unique form, reflecting the nation's complex social, cultural, and legal landscape. One key event that shaped the discourse around gender-based violence in India was the Nirbhaya case in 2012. This brutal gun rape and murder of a young woman in Delhi sparked nationwide protest and led to significant changes in India's legal framework regarding sexual violence. The public outrage that followed the Nirbhaya case was a precursor to the Me Too movement in India, laying the groundwork for a broader, more inclusive conversation about women's safety and rights. The movement through a literary lens. Literature has always been a powerful medium for social change, and the Me Too movement is no exception. Indian authors have used their writing to highlight the struggles and resilience of women in the face of systemic oppression. Through storytelling, writers can explore the complexities of gender dynamics, offering nuanced perspectives that go beyond the headlines. Literature allows for exploring personal experiences within broader societal context, making it a critical tool in the Me Too movement. In particular, historical and fictional retellings provide a lens through which readers can understand the roots of gender inequality and envision a path toward empowerment. And here we have two examples. So the author we're dealing with today is Chitra Banerjee Divakaruni. She's a celebrated author who has made significant contributions to the literary world by bringing forth stories that center on strong, complex female characters. Her writing often explores themes of identity, diaspora, and the intersection of personal and political struggles. In the context of the Me Too movement, her work stands out for its emphasis on female empowerment and resistance against oppressive structures. Banerjee's novels not only entertain but also challenge readers to reflect on the status of women in society and the ongoing fight for gender equality. And here we have a very enlightening quote which says, "In the years since the Me Too movement began in 2017, feminist retellings of classical myth have experienced a renaissance. And here we have the two novels we will be paying attention to today. The first one is The Last Queen. So, The Last Queen is one of Banerjee's most impactful works in recent years. The novel tells the story of Maharani Jinder Kaur, the last queen of Punjab, who fought against the British Empire to protect her kingdom and her son's legacy. The next one we can see is Independence. So in this novel, Chitra Banerjee focuses on the period surrounding Indian independence from British rule. This novel explores the lives of three sisters who navigate the tumultuous political landscape of the time, each grappling with their own personal and societal challenges. So, what are the common topics in both novels? Let's see them. For example, in the case of The Last Queen, we can see how the author resorts to historical narrative and feminist revisionism, as Queen Jindan's life is overshadowed by the more prominent male figure in her lives, for example, her husband, her son, and the British colonial rulers. What the author does is revising this narrative by placing Jindan Kaur at the center of the story, highlighting her courage, intelligence, and political acumen. Something else that we can observe, for example, in Independence, the second novel, is how women become agents of their own destiny, so women as protagonists. In Independence, the author reimagined the story of India's partition and struggle through the lives of three sisters, Priya, Deepa, and Jamini. And each sister journey reflects different aspects of female agency. For example, Priya aspired to become a doctor, challenging societal norms that restrict women's roles. Deepa experienced love and loss, navigating the complexity of marriage and motherhood during turbulent times. Jamini grapples with her own desires and the weight of familial duty. So, through this character, Divakaruni revised the historical narrative to show that women too were active participants in shaping history. But how does this reflect in the Me Too movement? Well, for example, in the first novel, The Last Queen, we can see resistance and resilience against the male-dominated power structures, which is something that resonates with the Me Too movement. And in the case of the first novel, as I was saying, the fight of the female protagonist to maintain her son's sovereignty and her own dignity in the face of British colonization can be seen as a metaphor for women's struggles against systemic oppression and gender-based violence. In the case of the second one, of Independence, we can observe, for example, that the female characters strive to assert their voices and make their own choices, even in the face of societal expectation and limitation. And Priya's determination, for example, to become a doctor despite the challenges she faces is emblematic of the broader feminist struggle for autonomy and empowerment. But also we can observe solidarity. For example, the novel also explores this topic as the sisters support each other through their struggle. This collective strength is a key aspect of the Me Too movement, where women have come together to share their stories, support one another, and challenge patriarchal power structures. So, how is retelling historical and fictional narrative helping the Me Too movement? Well, retelling historical and fictional narrative plays a crucial role in the Me Too movement by offering alternative perspectives that challenge the dominant narratives of history and culture. These stories provide a platform for voices that have been marginalized or silenced, allowing for a re-examination of the past through a feminist lens. By revisiting historical events and fictional stories, authors like Chitra Banerjee give readers the tools to understand the roots of gender-based oppression and inspire them to continue the fight for equality. These narratives serve as both a reflection of societal progress and a call to action, ensuring that the momentum of the Me Too movement is sustained through the power of storytelling. And here we have a very interesting quote which says, "While ancient myths are products of their time, they evolved too. Between reprints and verbal iterations, which is how these myths were initially passed down, changes in the narrative are inevitable. To restrict retelling in the purest form of mythology, as Patnaik does, is to ignore the manner in which society itself functions and is changing. To rewrite a prominent myth today and ignore the social shift India has undergone, particularly as far as women are concerned, does both the retelling and the reader an injustice." And here we have a very interesting quote. "All these novels enact a form of truth-telling by putting female perspective back into myth in a way that ultimately dismantles the hero paradigm. In addition to voice and speech, a number of these rewritings focus on the theme of sexual consent, a major component of the Me Too conversation. Collectively, they make the point that while the movement is part of the current moment, the issues it speaks to have existed since time immemorial." Well, in conclusion, the Me Too movement in India is a multifaceted and deeply impactful phenomenon. Through literature, particularly the works of authors like Chitra Banerjee Divakaruni, the movement has found a powerful ally in the fight for gender equality. By retelling historical and fictional narratives, these authors are not only preserving important stories, but also challenging their readers to think critically about the issues of gender, power, and resistance. As we continue to engage with these stories, we contribute to a broader cultural shift toward justice and equality for all. Thank you very much.